You've been trapped in the same destructive relationship patterns for years, cycling through the same painful dynamics while tactics like manipulation through touch and emotional control keep you locked in place. The numbers appearing on your phone and the synchronicities flooding your daily life aren't random. They're the universe's way of showing you the exit signs to your highest path. The real trap isn't the obvious abuse you can point to. It's the sophisticated psychological machinery that makes you crave the very person who's destroying you. Abusers engineer euphoric highs and desperate lows, creating a powerful psychological reward system that operates on the same logic as a slot machine. Unpredictable wins, sudden losses, and escalating self-blame. This is trauma bonding in action, and it rewires your brain to become literally addicted to the chaos. When you experience intense love bombing followed by sudden withdrawal and cruelty, your emotional attachment is maintained through intermittent reinforcement, the alternation of care and cruelty that creates psychological captivity even without physical force. The cycle feels inescapable because your brain chemistry is being hijacked. During abusive episodes, stress hormones like cortisol flood your system. When your partner returns with apologies and promises, dopamine creates a high more powerful than any drug. This neurochemical cocktail explains why leaving feels impossible, even when friends point out the obvious red flags. Intermittent reinforcement is the mechanism that locks you in place. When rewards come unpredictably, affection one moment, withdrawal the next, your brain's learning system maximizes its attachment response. You can't predict when you'll get the reward, so you remain hyper-vigilant, constantly seeking the next hit of approval. This isn't a passive trauma response. It's the result of deliberate psychological tactics deployed by your partner long before visible damage appears. Specific techniques are used to weaponize love itself, producing a form of psychological captivity through strategic systems of control. The manipulation extends beyond love bombing and intermittent reinforcement. Your partner gaslights your reality, isolates you from support systems, and makes you responsible for managing their emotions. Isolation is particularly insidious. By cutting you off from friends and family, your abuser becomes your sole emotional support, deepening your dependence and making the prospect of leaving feel catastrophic. The most insidious part: even when you recognize the relationship is unhealthy and dramatic, the possibility of it ending causes you distress. You experience a deep psychological addiction to the chaos itself. This is why you find yourself defending someone who clearly doesn't deserve your loyalty, minimizing their behavior, and returning to patterns that every rational part of you knows are destructive. Your conscious mind doesn't understand the real mechanism at work. You're not attracted to the chaos because you're broken. You're drawn to it because it feels like home. Your attachment system, formed in childhood, creates a psychological blueprint that defines what love is supposed to feel like. If your early caregivers were inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, or created an environment where you had to earn affection, your nervous system learned to associate uncertainty with intimacy. Attachment theory reveals the cruel irony of human bonding. When you have an anxious attachment style developed through childhood experiences with unpredictable caregivers, you unconsciously seek partners who recreate those same dynamics. The anxiety you feel when someone pulls away doesn't register as a warning sign. It registers as proof that this person matters. Your nervous system mistakes the stress response for passion, the uncertainty for excitement. Imagine growing up with a caregiver who was loving when present but cruel and dismissive when absent. Your nervous system learned that love comes with conditions, that affection must be earned through perfect behavior, and that emotional safety is always temporary. As an adult, when you meet someone stable and consistently kind, your attachment system doesn't recognize it as love. It feels boring, even suspicious. But when you encounter someone who alternates between intense affection and cold withdrawal, every cell in your body screams, "This is it." Your subconscious mind actively sabotages healthy connections because they don't match your internal template for what love should feel like. When someone treats you with consistent respect and availability, your nervous system doesn't get the familiar cocktail of stress hormones and relief that it associates with romantic connection. You might find yourself creating drama, picking fights, or pulling away from partners who are actually good for you, simply because the calm doesn't feel like love. This psychological machinery runs so deep that you can intellectually understand you're in a destructive pattern while emotionally feeling unable to leave. Your rational mind sees the red flags, but your attachment system overrides logic with a more primitive imperative. Stay connected to what feels familiar, even if it's slowly destroying you. The comfort of dysfunction becomes your nervous system's definition of safety, and that's the mechanism that keeps you trapped. Think about your own experience with dark psychology manipulation tactics versus the universe guiding you toward your highest path. Have you ever noticed repeating numbers like 111 or 444 appearing right when you needed to leave a toxic situation? Drop your answer in the comments below. Now let's explore why your attachment system makes healthy love feel wrong. While your nervous system sabotages healthy love, the universe operates on a completely different frequency, one designed to guide you toward your highest path through numerical synchronicities and divine timing. The repeating numbers flooding your awareness aren't random coincidences. They're a sophisticated guidance system that bypasses your conditioned patterns and speaks directly to your soul. When you're trapped in destructive relationship cycles, the universe begins amplifying specific number sequences to capture your attention. Repeatedly seeing the same number combinations, like 111, 222, 444, 1111, isn't coincidence, but synchronicity. The universe delivering important guidance at precisely the moments you need it most. These sequences appear at your decision points. The moment you reach for your phone to text your manipulative ex, the instant you're about to rationalize returning to the cycle, the second you're considering whether to stay or leave. That's when 1111 floods your awareness. The number 1111 functions as a universal wake-up call, a moment to pause and recognize what's happening spiritually in your life. It appears precisely when your thoughts are shaping your reality, when your focus determines your next move. When 1111 surfaces, it's reminding you that whatever you dwell on will manifest. In those moments, before you text your ex, before you minimize their behavior, before you convince yourself to stay, that number is alerting you to the power of your thoughts. It's not telling you to avoid your ex forever. It's showing you that your next choice matters, that your attention is currency, and that you're about to spend it on either your healing or your captivity. Meanwhile, 444 carries an entirely different energy signature. When you see 444 repeatedly on receipts, clocks, license plates, it signals that you're building the spiritual foundation necessary to break free from your attachment patterns. The number 4444 reminds you that you're resonating with the universe in perfect synchronicity, that you're on the same wavelength with the infinite creator. Seeing this number when you're feeling low, when you're doubting whether escape is possible, is the universe confirming that support is present and that you're moving toward alignment. The timing of these numerical appearances reveals their true purpose. They don't surface randomly throughout your day. They emerge precisely when you're about to make choices that either align with your highest path or pull you back into familiar dysfunction. The universe is essentially hijacking your attention at critical decision points, offering you a moment of conscious choice instead of unconscious reactivity. Each number sequence is a pause button, a cosmic intervention designed to interrupt the automatic patterns your nervous system has been running for years. When you begin responding to these numerical messages and making choices aligned with your soul's guidance rather than your attachment patterns, you experience what can only be described as universal approval manifesting in your physical reality. Your sleep patterns transform first. Instead of the restless nights and anxiety-driven insomnia that plagued you during toxic relationship cycles, you find yourself sleeping deeply and waking refreshed. Your nervous system finally downregulates from the chronic stress of dysfunction. Your body recognizes that you're no longer in survival mode, no longer hypervigilant about unpredictable emotional attacks or withdrawal. Opportunities begin flooding into your life with almost supernatural timing. Job offers appear. Old friends reach out with exactly the support you need. Financial resources manifest just when you require them most. These moments of synchronicity aren't coincidence. They're the natural result of your energy shifting from the low vibration of attachment dysfunction to the high vibration of aligned choice-making. When you stop pouring your life force into sustaining destructive patterns, that energy redirects toward your actual vitality and visibility in the world. The people around you begin responding differently. Toxic individuals who once dominated your attention start losing their grip on your emotional energy. They may escalate their manipulation tactics temporarily, sensing your shift, but their attempts feel hollow and powerless. Meanwhile, healthier people begin gravitating toward you naturally. Your elevated vibration acts like a magnet, repelling what no longer serves you while attracting what supports your highest good. Even your physical appearance begins to change. Friends comment that you look different, brighter, more alive, more present. This isn't vanity, it's the visible manifestation of internal alignment. Your skin clears, your posture improves, your eyes regain their natural light. You're literally glowing with the energy you've reclaimed from dysfunction. These shifts, sleep, opportunity, relational recalibration, physical vitality, form a coherent pattern. They're not separate miracles. They're the universe's way of confirming that your nervous system has genuinely healed, that your choices are now aligned with your highest path, and that you've finally broken the cycle. The most transformative shift happens when you realize you have the power to break the pattern entirely through a simple three-step process that interrupts the psychological machinery keeping you trapped. Step 1. Create pattern interruption through conscious awareness. When a number catches your attention, pause. The noticing itself is significant. Your mind flagged this moment for a reason. What were you thinking about when you noticed it? Often, the meaning connects directly to whatever was on your mind in that moment. When you see 1111 as you're reaching for your phone to text your manipulative ex, that's not coincidence, it's intervention. The universe is creating a conscious moment where you can choose differently. Instead of automatically following your attachment programming, you pause and ask, what am I about to create with this choice? This pause becomes your first line of defense against unconscious reactivity. Step 2. Implement boundary setting through aligned action. When you acknowledge the numerical guidance and choose the aligned action instead of the familiar dysfunction, you're literally rewiring your nervous system in real time. Each conscious choice builds new neural pathways that support healthy attachment patterns. The synchronistic signal becomes a choice point, a moment where you interrupt the cycle before it deepens. You text a supportive friend instead. You step away from the phone. You choose the path that honors your highest self rather than your trauma bonding. Step 3. Track synchronicity patterns through conscious documentation. Writing helps you process the experience and notice patterns over time. You might discover that certain numbers appear during specific life circumstances, moments of temptation versus moments of alignment. Journaling transforms fleeting number sightings into opportunities for genuine self-reflection. When you document which numbers appear as you're about to repeat destructive patterns versus which ones appear after you've chosen differently, you begin to see the universe's guidance system operating in real time. The numerical sequences become a feedback loop, confirming that your choices are moving you toward freedom. The breakthrough happens when you realize these numerical appearances aren't random spiritual experiences. They're practical tools for escaping psychological captivity. Each number sequence becomes a conscious choice point, a moment where you can interrupt destructive patterns and choose your highest path instead. When the current year repeatedly catches your attention, the universe is saying, "This time matters." Pay attention to what you're building right now. Within weeks of implementing this system, the toxic dynamics that once controlled you begin to lose their grip. The manipulation tactics that kept you trapped feel powerless against your newfound awareness. Meanwhile, healthy opportunities and relationships begin manifesting with supernatural timing, confirming that you've finally broken free from the cycles that held you captive for years. The pattern is interrupted. The cycle is broken. You are free. Subscribe for more pattern recognition wisdom, and watch this next video about manifesting your ideal relationship.